in my PE classes where kids were coming in to play rounders and they couldn't throw the ball from behind their head. They'd throw like this. So then they couldn't get the ball from one base to the next. Therefore, there was no game. The game wasn't a competition. So in my PE class, I started to use tennis balls. Started off with one ball, right hand to left hand to right hand. It was a problem even doing that at the start, right? We progressed then to two tennis balls, right hand to left hand to left. Then we start working with a partner, throwing right to right, left to left. And then we start crisscrossing. Then we start. I was showing an exercise a couple of years ago. Up you come. Muscle memory. Okay, so kick right, kick left, run at me, hand pass over me, kick right, kick left. See my feet? So I'm not fucking chance on that table anyway. So if you look, the vacuum for my feet is here, okay? So when I go that way, if I was blocking you with my right foot in front, I'm in trouble. So that has to be that. Does that make sense? Now I can get down. And if I'm going this way, right, and the ball has been kicked there, there's my vacuum. I can get down here. If I put my right foot in front, I can't get down. Does that make sense? So that muscle memory exercise in 30 seconds, you can get something like 16 blocks. You're obviously not blocking a ball, but you're getting down to the feet. We had a big problem, and you have the same problem with juveniles, because I'm telling you that they equate with the girls blocking. And we got 5 blocks in last year's All-Ireland final. That was the most we got in any game last year. Now you might say, count how many you get. Count how many you get in a game. A block's an unbelievable thing. It takes away the confidence of the opponent. They don't want to kick it anymore. And there's so many opportunities in the game, but it takes so much work to try and get between tackle bags, between the little muscle memory exercise, getting them, the repetition of them. So they're all skills you're trying to go after. So don't just block the ball. Remember I told you about the scoring exercise? Don't just put the ball over the bar. Hit the stop nets, right? It becomes a mindset for things, all right? Practice scoring points on 2 or 3 steps. So when the ball comes back out of that crowded area, you have to be able to go 1, 2, 3, because you don't have your 5 or 6 run into it now, okay? So practice the ball squirting out. You're only getting 3 steps to put the ball over the bar. What have we got here? Wingspan and the tackle, so the clamp tackle. Practice regaining momentum when the move breaks down. Who made that point to me outside, right? Somebody asked me that question. So do you see what I'm doing? I'm doing exactly what I'm going to the game and I'm seeing the problems. I'm taking the problem, I'm writing it down, and then I'm going out and coming up with some kind of an idea to coach that problem. That's what the game should be. How did I coach 20 years ago? I got the best manual with the best drills, and I ran my session, and I went out. I didn't know what I was fucking doing at all. Because all I was doing was drills. It was a brilliant training session. You came out and watched my training session, you would say, geez, I want to see the drills Mick Bohan was running. They were absolutely brilliant. Now I make the drills relative to the game. The 3 bodies, trying to find the gap, that's relative to the game, okay? The peeling from the inside, deciding whether you're going to go through the gap or you're going to use the offload, that's relative to the game. The technical tackle with the 2 balls, okay, I'm going after the whole aspect of the tackle. I'm not just going after trying to win the ball, okay? Does that see the change for me, what has happened to me as a coach? So I've now gone after the game to see how I can make the game better. Before, what I did was I wanted to have a pretty training session, and there's a complete world of a difference, all right? So, and how I keep going back, maybe that's, and just as a matter of interest, I don't know if you have to cut back with 1. You 2, have you got those 2 pink volleyballs a second? Come on, up here, you're on. Last night you couldn't go to sleep because you wanted to show this. Now's your time. And just a matter of interest, if you don't get this right, there's no dinner. High pressure environment, yeah. Okay, so watch this, right? Don't even look at anybody, right? Just concentrate on what you're supposed to do, okay? So look at Layla. I should have said look at Layla rather than not look at anything. Okay, so I want you to throw high and you to throw low, okay? So just, if you, again, remember we talked about the equipment. Okay? That's completely unintimidating. If that was a football, it's intimidating. Now do the opposite, okay? So you're throwing high this time and you're throwing low. No, the other, you're throwing high and you're throwing low. Okay, well, it didn't look like it was the other way. Go. So, now, do you reckon Good, okay, so take a ball each now, right? One ball each. Can you throw with your right hand to this side of her body, and you throw with this hand to this side of her body? Go. Go on, keep going, and do it as fast as you can. So the point on this is unintimidating. Like the skill set, I used to, when these were smaller, I had 2 balloons in the sitting room, and they used to have to keep the 2 balloons up with their forelimbs. That was a game, it's just a bit of fun. But, so you know when you talk about mechanics, what age can they start? Well, you can start at any age. But the bottom line is there's going to be, for example, here, let's go. I want you to try this now a second, right? Solo with your right, with one leg and then the other. She still doesn't know the size of her body, obviously, so. Solo, do you know what a solo is? So a little kick to yourself, okay? Go on, solo, kick, and now the other side, right? Go on, keep going, and you do the same thing, right? Solo one side and the other. Go, and then the other, okay? That was your big toe. Get it on your laces, all right? Keep going, off you go. So again, like with very little effort, they can off they go. So when you're asking about kicking or catching, just if you watch this one, this is an interesting one. Just watch this. Right? You ready? You ready? Catch. Ready? Come on. Go. Catch. Go. Come on. Quick now. Catch. Eventually. Good. Let's go. Catch. Now that's the one I wanted. See it? No fear. Even though it's going to hit her, it's no fear. Right? She's still catching it. If that was a football and I hit her once, every other time it's back here. She's still staying coming at the ball because she's not afraid of it. Does that make sense? So us teaching, getting them to get that habit at this age by the proper equipment is so important, all right? And it's, I don't know what the equivalent is. Thanks, you two. Well done. Okay, good stuff. Okay. Layla slept with me last night. She was so nervous. So anyway, but the point's been in all that, like, I mean, you know, I remember even like the heavy, remember the schlitter when it held the water? Remember that, jeez, the sting of it. She wouldn't want to catch it. You're in a lovely position with the Kula group at the moment in that, obviously you've had a fabulous couple of years with the hurling, and your sports people, the people I've worked out of your club, Mick Fitz, Jen and Martha, holy Lord, you couldn't get better ambassadors to play the game. So, and we're all the same. It's so important for the young kids to have people to look up to, because it's amazing the reaction. Like they just become heroes. And we're living at a very lucky time in Dublin to have had such role models, not just good sports people, just such good role models. But just here's your skill set, right? What skill do you want to improve? Then you have to practice it. Then you have to practice it at speed, and then you have to practice it at speed under pressure. So see the time-based thing. Remember I was talking about the 3 seconds outside? Okay. Flinner and Bernard Brogan came up to one of our sessions last year. We were doing a thing on scoring. And if you look here, to see the bottom of the page, see the language. So here's your scoring challenge. This one here. See it? So at the bottom of the page, you should see full pendulum. Chest dictates direction. I haven't got land running in there. That's a new one, and it should go in there. Pendulum I have in, and is there anything else? Land running, chest dictates direction, pendulum, head down, is it? Head down. Oh, clean strike. Okay. Now, again, bear with me on this one. I'm telling you this, right? In 2013, when we did the wash-up, the players came back to us and said to us, the most important thing that was done with them during the course of the year, during the scoring challenge, was the repetition of the 4 key terms. Now, that's some of the best forwards in the country were telling us the exercise was good, but that's not what the key. The key was the repetition. Head down, chest dictates direction, full pendulum swing, clean strike. Or as I said to you now, land running. So the key, they're telling us, the best players are telling us, that it was so important for them to hear those messages all the time. Not some of the time, all the time. And anyone that's read that book, Bounce, on table tennis, he talks about the numbers of hours, 10,000 hours to perfect a skill. And we're there on the side of a pitch and we've done 100 hours and we think, for fuck's sake, I've told them 100 times. Well, we've only begun, okay? The thing has to keep and repeat it and repeat it and repeat it and repeat it. And if they're saying that at the top level, how important is it then with the juveniles, okay? So when I kick the ball, particularly for a score, right? Well, either way, right? If a lot of people kick the ball and they put the brakes on, so my momentum isn't going into the ball. So kick and land run. So my momentum now is going into the ball. Does that make sense? Okay. So not only is the exercise important, and you did 3 different types of shots. You did the 2 ball exercises, turning around, right? Now we changed that at times, like I said to you about the Kerry lads. So rather than turning out, we turned in. Okay, so that was another variation. We did the people starting at the inside and the angles of run, so I'd receive it like you would in a game, and 3 seconds turn and put the ball over the bar. Paddy Andrews, funny enough, was someone who benefited hugely from that. And we could almost see the exact thing done in training replicated on the game. They'd see it. He'd go to turn and then back in, and he'd know his angle in Croke Park from having obviously done that so many times in the training sessions, right? The other thing I just wanted to, it's only after dawned on me, I didn't say this to you, here was this. This is a key factor, and again, I did this with a juvenile team when they were 15. But this is just last year's one. So what we gave the players back was, we asked them to write down their strengths and things they needed to work on, and then we gave them back what we felt they needed to work on and what we saw as their strengths. Okay? Now, we've all been in this situation again. You go into a dressing room and say, okay, right guys, this is the way we're going to play today. 6 defenders, 2 wing forwards are going to drop back to help the defenders. Midfielders, 1 go forward, the other hold the middle of the park. Forwards want you to move all day, hard as you can, right? When we get the ball up this side of the field, we're kicking to the far side. When we get the far side of the field, we're kicking to here. Do you understand that? Let's go. Now we do that. We do that, all right? We do a situation whereby we dish it, and you ask the team, do you understand? Do you understand? You can be 100% sure every single one of them understand every single word. Now, ask your centre-back to come up and explain what just took place. Ask them. Ask your goalkeeper to talk about your forward movement or your movement for your kickouts. Ask your forwards to say, what shape are you playing? Ask them that. Because that's what, if you were involved with the Dublin senior footballers, or if you were involved with any of the top teams, that's what you'd be doing. You'd be coming up and you'd be telling the team what you're doing. Why? Because then we all know that they know. And until we do that, we don't know that they know. All right? We know that they've heard, we don't know that they've understood. All right? And you would be amazed what comes back sometimes. We had a situation last year with a really, really seasoned player who gave a description of a system we were playing that was completely contradictory to the way we were playing. We had to get her out of there before she dug a fucking hole that she couldn't get out of ever again, all right? And that happened, and I know that she knew, but she didn't know how to articulate, and she got caught, all right? And the bottom line was, if there was any doubt in her mind, well, then it was going to come out. So eventually it got to a stage, and that'll happen. That's part of the game. But you need to find that out. So that little thing, just as regards feedback, and I know there's an age, again, 10, 11, 12, forget about it, all right? There's other things to do at that point in time.